Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of It's Bigger Than Business podcast. Excited to be joined by this special guest. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Troy Hipolito from the Troy Agency. So thanks for having me aboard, man.
My pleasure, my pleasure. You and I virtually got connected on probably my favorite social media platform, I think, which is LinkedIn, when it comes to just connecting with people and real life and seeing it. I feel like I've met you several times, but really never met you, which is kind of interesting. We've been on a lot of calls. So why don't
Yeah,
you
yeah.
tell our audience a little bit about what the Troy Agency is and what you do and how you're helping people?
Yeah, I can tell you a little more interesting story on how it became. I'll give you a quick 2 minute
Cool.
summary. I had an IT company before. We are doing gamification. I really enjoyed it. It was doing really well until it wasn't. And I'm in Atlanta, Georgia area. I think you are in the Miami area, which I'm a little
Yes.
jealous, but that's a whole nother story. And so back in the day, it was great. We were picking up clients and all that stuff, and it all crashed. We had a lot of clients and agencies that worked for companies like Coca-Cola and all the big tech companies over here. We had a lot of Fortune 500s in Atlanta,
Yeah, yeah,
and they just stopped working with the agencies and they start bringing them inside. And we're
yeah.
like, what the hell are we gonna do?
And what year was
And
this, by the way? Like,
what now?
what year was
Oh,
this?
this was oh my goodness. I want to say at least 10 years ago, when
Wow.
when
Okay. Okay.
when when the when the, that crash happened, and and all the agencies were fighting over the same pennies. So it wasn't even
Mm.
dollars because they were pulling the agencies in and all that stuff. So I ran to a buddy. I said, "Hey, Feta." He was in Argentina. He moved to New York. He had a similar agency to me, and I said, "How are you doing this? My work is much better than yours, right?" And I'm razzing him a little bit, right? And he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "It's all on LinkedIn." I'm like, "What? LinkedIn? Where you put your resumes and stuff, right? Right?" So he says, "Yeah, I'm getting all this business through these relationships." And I ran to a sales buddy, and he was one of my partners for one of my other companies. And he says, "Yeah, man, it's all LinkedIn." He's a bona fide sales guy, and it hit me. I was terrible at relationships, like regular human relationships, right? Because
Mhm.
I'm a programmer and a designer. I got type A traits, which were not good for relationships and stuff, right? Not good for
Yeah.
communicating. But I was very technical. I'm a very technical person. So I had to break down the dating process, like how to date, like for dummies, right? So I had to break that down,
Yeah.
and and I applied that process to LinkedIn, and it worked really well. So when you meet someone, you see this woman of your dreams or something, there's this gorgeous woman you walk up to, you say, "Hi, I'm Troy. I'd like to have two babies with you," right? Probably
Yeah.
that's bad dating technique. You probably get smacked in the face, ignored. You know what I mean? So the old fashioned dating process is really about just getting to know that person and helping where you can. That's it. And it's really like
Mhm.
true networking. You want to really network. You want to figure out how to help that individual and come from a place of service, even if you're not going
Yeah.
to make any money, right? It doesn't really matter because if people know, like, and trust, you heard those three words, they're going to be more likely to do business with you. So you want them to come to you versus you try to sell to them because LinkedIn is not a selling platform. As soon as we did that, we had a major conversion, and we said, you know what? After a few years of this, um, it might be easier to help people on LinkedIn than our IT business. So I started a company called Return Client, and then that evolved into the Troy Agency recently. And so it's all about helping other individuals, meeting with them, and just seeing if there's any dots to connect. And never worry about a sale. Don't worry about getting sales and getting business is a byproduct of helping others.
Yes. Yes. No, I love that. I love that. And that's the thing about in real life too. When you go to networking events, there's a tendency to be kind of getting to the point, like, hey, what do you do? Like a lot of people
Yeah.
just start with that line, you know. And if anyone's listening, I prefer, hey, what are you working on? I think that's
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
But I love that about LinkedIn, where again, it's like, hey, if you're going to be like me at this point, if you're transactional with me, I'm definitely going to remove you as a friend. And depending on how bad you are, I might even block you, honestly. Like, because to me, it's just annoying. It's more about being doing life with people,
Mhm.
especially if you don't even bother to read my profile. Like, I get a lot of people saying, hey, why don't you outsource stuff to me? And I'm like, I do all that stuff in house. Like, I'm not interested in doing that. Like,
Yeah, it's very
so
spammy. Yeah, that spammy stuff is really unappetizing. Another thing too is that people say, "Well, I need to get all these clients." Like, how many B2B clients do you really need? Like,
yeah,
you don't need thousands. You won't be able to handle them. You have to serve the client. So if you're
yeah,
doing real work to serve the client, you can only take on so many anyway. Why don't you just take on the right clients? And that's another thing people are doing on LinkedIn. They're taking the wrong clients on.
yeah.
Yeah, if you don't fit my
Well,
profile, if you don't fit the mold, what if I don't like you, if you are not a giving individual, if you're there just to spam, I won't work with you. I just won't do it.
yeah,
I'll just cut it off and move to next because you're a problem client. I want to have good clients.
yeah,
Good clients pay
yeah,
more
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. No, and I'll be transparent. I think that's where my business is right now.
Hmm.
Um, where the pandemic started. Before the pandemic started, we had under 15 clients, and then we rolled out a couple different services, and now we're over 200 clients. And it's kind of at the position where we're like, okay, well, let's micro focus on who we're working with. We're really not concerned with just getting new business. We want to really grow with the businesses that we have. And,
Hmm.
I mean, try not to sound like a capitalist here, but, we really believe that our revenue could be even much more amplified with maybe even 100 clients in a way,
Yeah.
by just having that micro focus. So,
Well, you have a lot of
it's pretty,
ancillary things that happen. You like, for example, the Troy agency does LinkedIn stuff. We help you convert, the B2B stuff on LinkedIn, but sometimes they'll need a website or they'll introduce you to who needs to happen. And 50% of our business is recommendation. It's not
yeah,
all this other.
that's
All
awesome.
this stuff what we do is just validation for the recommendation. You got to think about that. You say, oh, you have awesome posts, you're sending stuff
Wow.
out, you're getting. I said, sure, we get some clients to that, but your current clients that are happy, they'll send somebody over. You can just bluntly ask them. That's the time you know the ask is equal to equal to the relationship. And that's
Mm,
another thing that people forget. They don't realize, what is the relationship I have with this individual. Does that relationship allow me to ask for something, and you have to have
yes,
that balance in it. And that's where spammers don't get it. They don't get it. And it's
a
it's
hundred
great to have
percent.
multiple streams of revenue, but simplifying it and helping those people who need help is kind of like your best self reward. You know,
Yeah,
um,
no, 100%. You remind me of I interviewed him on an episode, our last episode, Laurent Bachelor,
mhm.
and he said the best brands out teach, not outsell.
Mhm.
And I feel like that just is exactly, in line with that and how we both kind of go about growing our audience and adding value.
Yeah, I mean, I have actually turned down work that's not in my that's some of these things in my peripheral. It's just not a right fit for now. Because you're
Hmm,
doing too
hmm.
many things, you get spread out get spread too thin. You're not doing a good job, and so I decided to concentrate on two audiences. Right, I can do two. My major clients, my higher end clients that need to have those conversions, that will pay for that and the right fit. But also, how about all these other people down here that can't afford those services? I said that's why
Hmm.
I have something called the Troy Show. We have thousands of people on it, and we just provide value. And of course, we have courseware. So if we end up getting a partner that has a large audience, we're going to help them, and everyone converts and makes money. But not everyone's going to be able to afford your top line services. So that was the area I really wanted to concentrate on. Those people that can't afford, the top line services, but they're go getters. They're good people, and they want to convert and build better relationships.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's the thing too. And I think, you look at, I could relate to that so much. I just think a lot of people chase these big, dollars, kind of like what you said in the beginning, where the world and the internet is so vast where you could micro focus and you could find people who are looking for your services, and um, it's, you really just have to be open to going deep and entertaining. Like right now, everyone's on TikTok. It's like, okay, you know.
Yeah,
I like
if
LinkedIn.
you build a model where you have a loyal following or partners or clients, business will flow into you automatically, you know. And so you want a two-way street, if you will. You know, you want to be able to give, and you want to be able to receive the right items and stuff. I have
Mhm.
people come to me and I say, you know what, I'm not the right person for this. I'm not the right person, but so and so is. And I could take your money, but it wouldn't be helpful to me or you to do that. So I said, I know you want me to work on this, but I want you to be, I would rather you be more successful, you know? And so you have the incoming traffic and they appreciate that. And the people you give the work, it's reciprocal. Like Troy, he gave me this work. I'll give you a simple example. I have
Yeah,
two partners for my show, Ed Forteau and Jean Michel,
yeah, yep.
and
I like Ed.
really good guys. One's a super email deliverability is super important, and having another LinkedIn guy is important because I don't want to do all the work myself, right? And
Yep.
so I actually tricked my partner to be my partner, not in a bad way, but in a good way. And so I took a video and I said, hey, let's do this Zoom thing, and let's run a look at my profile. He goes, well, you're redoing your profile, but you're a LinkedIn expert too, so why do you need me? I said, I need another perspective on it. It's okay if I record this? He said, yeah, sure. We go to 45 minutes. He talks about stuff. We have a banter, go back and forth, and we don't agree on everything, but there's some overlap as well, which makes great conversation. And I create a series from that recording, and he got 3 clients from it.
Mm,
He got three
mm.
clients from it. He goes, why are you giving me these clients? I said, oh, don't worry about it. I said, Jean-Michel, would this make a good course? He said, yeah. I got my course creators now. So
Wow,
we build
that's
all our
awesome.
courses together. And now we have over 200 videos for the coursework. Well, if I'm willing to give first, because I know that he needs clients, everyone needs clients. I said, let me just give him some clients. Let me showcase what he's doing. And if you're giving someone money, not asking anything in return, and you say, well, do you think a good course would make sense? He said, yeah. They're much more likely to work on you on these JV projects because they know that you're not taking, you're giving, you know, and having that
Hmm.
giving mentality where everyone benefits is probably key to some of these businesses that they're not doing. A lot of these sales organizations are stuck in the old school way of doing things, you know? They're very hard selling, they're not relationship building, they're kind of stuck in that method, and they're losing out because they have bad habits and stuff. So a good habit is just helping people.
Man, you said it all there, and for I think this might be that might be a great way to end it off, and definitely want you to be doing follow up. Why don't you tell people how to connect with you? Um, and everyone, I definitely recommend connecting with Troy on LinkedIn. I think
Thanks.
Troy is super informative. I've tapped into several groups. I've tapped in and left when I became too busy. But it's great to be on. I believe people like yourself really, the best is really yet to come, to be honest, because
Mhm.
I know that where the work that you're putting in, the level of authenticity, and the fact that you're really helping small business owners in this country that's considered, under 500 employees, right? I worked with the guy. His company did 20 million in revenue in 2021, and he has 7 employees. If that
Yeah.
gives some people that, so in this country, if you have the right processes, the right people in place, you could really be doing incredible things. So I really appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you. Just thank you for everything. You've
Yeah, they can just reach out to
indirectly
me on
helped.
LinkedIn. Troy Hipolito, Hipolito. So just look at that Troy Hipolito and on LinkedIn, send a connection invite. Say you saw the show, I'll accept. If you don't send a message, I may not accept. So
Yeah. And everyone, make sure you go to collaborateandelevate.com in the news section. We're going to create a page for this, an article, and share it out throughout our platforms. But as always, I want to give a shout out to Jay Swiffa. He does our intro music for It's Bigger Than Business podcast, and he has a new album coming out that I got a chance to listen to over the weekend. I think it's pretty amazing. Any plans for the week, Troy?
oh my goodness. I just moved and I'm just like setting up this place here. So last weekend was for just hanging out with my daughters and stuff. And this weekend is getting back in the grind of getting things done. So I have a couple new clients coming on board, keeping busy, and got some plans for the courses and how to kind of expand that for the Troy Show. So all exciting stuff, a lot of logistical things and stuff. But my goal is to have a lot of passive income coming in so I can just finish a book. And I'm writing a book called the LinkedIn Red Book, and
Love it.
that's a little
Love
personal
it.
passion project. It's going to be like opposite of every other LinkedIn book. It's going to be a Bible. So it's going to be a literally
Wow.
step-by-step guide on how to create service operating procedures, systems on LinkedIn, things that really convert, depending on what you're doing with your market and stuff like that. And it's going to be just a huge book so they can open it up like, oh, this is a freaking step-by-step guide. So that's something that's going to be different than a lot of those other LinkedIn things because a lot of people think on they concentrate things on just internal and having the right mindset, which is really important. But you can have a great mindset and no steps along with it. So there
Yeah,
is a balance. So my book is about that kind of balance there.
I love it. I'm excited for it, and definitely keep us in mind when it's ready. Do you plan on having it done this year, or what's
Yeah,
your?
part before the end of the year, I get invited to write a page on another book. It's a collaborative book. I'm gonna do that first. It's just and they're gonna be a guaranteed bestseller. So I'm using that as a stepping stone for the new book. All strategy based. You have to think about what's the easiest way or the best way to get where you need to go. So
Love it. Love it. Well, Troy, thank you for your time and for sharing your experiences growing the Troy agency, and just excited to watch you grow and continue to help others. Appreciate your time.
thank you very much, Manny. I appreciate it.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.